host of Life of Circle Radio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's right here before Thanksgiving, so I'm sure some of y'all already checked out. Some of y'all already started hitting a bottle of wine and you're getting ready for the week. It's been a year. And so we're trying to make the most of it. Today, we're going to talk about Drake has decided to sue the record company because he said that they gave Kendrick Lamar too much support on the record that seemed like it's borderline ruining his career. We're going to talk about that. Shabuzi, who had supposedly one of the biggest records in the history of music, and definitely country music, and he won nothing at the same age. There's a conversation that Kia is going to help me with. There's a Sarah McBride and Nancy Mace. I guess they're both in Congress. I believe Sarah McBride is transgender. And there's a conversation around that. There's a racist flyer in Ohio trying to get people to self-deport. And there's a clip of a guy that I pulled where he basically said, yes, we got to deport everybody, but we got to bring them back so they can go to work. All right, Lil Wayne also in the conversation as well. So with this going on with Drake, with Kendrick Lamar just dropping you out. All right, so follow us on the social medias as always. We're live right now on YouTube where we want you to go there, go there, go there, go there, go there. Actually, this one, there we go. Go there, go there, go there. Subscribe, because we build it. Super producer.
What up? Hold on a second. I'm trying to finish this up. TD Jakes hasn't gone.
And then there's that. TD Jakes. We're going to talk about that. We might as well, you already brought it up, so we might as well almost start with that because...
we can start with that. But really quick, happy Thanksgiving week. We are going into the Thanksgiving holiday, and it is my second favorite holiday next to Christmas. Why? Because I get to be around my family, and that is literally my favorite thing is being around my family. Only thing would make it better if Miguel and his family live in Florida, but they don't. So that makes me sad.
We don't, because we're not moving to Florida.
He's never moving to Florida. It's never happening. I have a better chance of moving to Atlanta, but
it's because I love my people in Jacksonville. Shout out to my man Bishop Davis and Impact Church.
That's what I'm saying. When is the last time you've been in Jacksonville?
3-4 years.
Okay, if we make a family trip because I want to go to Jacksonville to visit my friends, and you want to go to Jacksonville to visit Bishop. So can we make a family trip to Jacksonville? Don't you play them crickets?
I'm not positioned right over here. Let me pull out. Let me make sure I can get my hands on it and
keep playing around. You get it with that robot voice you had when we were trying to go.
Now I can't get my little things to work. Let me see. Now ain't nothing working. Damn it. All right.
But no, we really do need to go back to Jacksonville. That is actually where me and Miguel became friends. That holds near to my heart. So I would love to go for like a 3-day trip to Jacksonville and just spend time with everybody.
You did that. Got my little pads not working over here. You did.
Yes, my crappy Dell I bought from Amazon is controlling your computer. That's what's happening.
But anyway, there we go. There we go. All right. So anyway, Jacksonville. We'll talk about it. Jacksonville is always always a good trip to take, and my people's is not just Bishop. There's quite a few people there, but All right. So let's jump into the story. What?
Sorry. There was a couple you guys were friends with who had a baby, a little girl. That was somebody who I got to know through you guys. What were their names, really quick?
You're talking about the Finlays.
The Fin. I actually remember their last name because I kept thinking, you're black.
Girl ain't little. She the same age as our girls. She right in the middle.
I know. I was like, I kept thinking when you said, the Finlays, you guys are black. Your last name is wrong for you guys to be black. Every time you would say their last name.
Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, Shakur.
I know.
All right, so let's jump into the story. So on Sunday, during his service, Bishop T.D. Jakes had an episode during service, and as you can see here in this clip, it really looks like he had a stroke.
Yes, it absolutely does.
Which is really, really scary to see. And then as people started to come and when they realized that he was not in prayer, he was not meditating, he was having a medical episode, and he was rushed, and folks were rushed there to the stage.
So in a statement, the church says Jakes experienced a slight health incident and received immediate medical attention following his powerful hour-long message, which, by the way, for what I've learned, again, being around pastors, Bishop Davis and everything, when they do these hour-long services, which is very rare, it takes a lot out of them, and it can be exhausting. It's not safe. So Bishop Bishop Jakes is stable and under the care of medical professionals. The church said the entire Potter's House family is grateful for the outpouring of love, prayers, and support from the community, says a statement. And what actually looked like it happened is that they were ending service, and he was doing that final prayer, kind of bringing everything together, just putting everybody into meditation. And you could see him trying his hardest to kind of hold it together.
Right.
And then he just couldn't. And the mic drops, and you can see him kind of jolting back and forth.
Right.
And people continue to pray. And then his pastoral team, bishops and pastoral team, come on stage to kind of cover him and safely help him off the stage. And what it looks like Miguel said to us, is that he had a stroke, and
it definitely looked like a stroke. They haven't announced it. I'm gonna play this clip real quick from his daughter and son-in-law, who, and this would be Sarah Jakes as well as Tori Roberts. We'll let you hear what they had to say.
I know that today's been an interesting day for us.
A tough day.
But we didn't want to lay down without giving you all an Bishop. We want to thank you, first of all, for your prayers, your support, your concern. It's truly been a blessing.
Yeah, we felt those prayers. Obviously, today could have been a tragic day, but it wasn't. By the mercy of God, by the grace of God, Bishop is doing well. He's recovering well. He's under medical care. He's strong. We're trying to get him to sit down. He's the strong bishop that we know. But we really can't thank you enough for your prayers, for your intercession, for all your kind words, and keep it up. People are asking, what can we do? Keep praying, keep encouraging. It means a lot to our family.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that he's already beginning to improve. And I think it's just a reminder, even going into this holiday season week, to love on the people who you hold near and dear, and just take the time to be grateful for all the people God's given you.
Thank you. We love you. Appreciate you.
And so, once again, as we mentioned, that is Sarah Jakes, who is his daughter, and his son-in-law. We definitely want to send prayers up for Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I have a different prayer for people who've jumped in the comments and they want to make slick comments about him and his relationship with Diddy, and make all these type of back to all the different comments that like to criticize the men and women of God who are serving. They hustling the church and blah 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 blah. Man, shut up. This is a human being. This is a man who serves thousands and thousands of people on a weekly basis.
Not Jamal Bryant, gentlemen. It's not Jamal. If it was Jamal, I get it. It's not. So it's
no, you will not get it. No, you do not get it if Jamal Bryant is sitting up there having a stroke. No, I'm not. I let you with your little slick comments about Dr. Jamal Bryant, but we're not putting that engine abstract. But the bottom line is, folks, there are a lot of people in these internet streets. I just wish I didn't know you existed. I just wish you had a little hole that you go to X, because we're all leaving X anyway. Go over there and do this crap that y'all like.
Honestly, these type of comments is why you left the neighborhood talk on Instagram. You were like, I couldn't do it no more.
I couldn't do it. I can't. My soul won't let me ingest that type of content. And I mean, some people that may sound all super spiritual and everything. That's just the way I rock. I cannot deal with that level of negative energy, because those are the type of people that you would never even. I would never even give you a time of day. I wouldn't even be in your atmosphere. And these people are out here and sit in there, brought these people together. Go ahead, jump in.
But let me make it very, very clear. T.D. Jakes has served the Black community for, I want to say now we're at 30 plus years. I want to say at least 30 years. 30 years of being well known, a bigger name in the last 30 years.
Sure.
And he has done well.
Mm-hmm.
He has done well. His children doing well. Sarah Jakes is a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
When it comes to what she leads, what has been handed over to her.
Leading women in ministry. She's got a great ministry for women. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We need people like T.D. Jakes to, I'm a T.D. Jakes fan. I think he brings a lot to the Black community, and I want him to be healthy. I want him to survive. But I do feel like it's time. You may need to pass the reins more over to your daughter and sit your big butt down.
Well, I don't watch his ministry enough to know. Here's what we know. Sarah Jakes has a ministry, a very successful ministry. So he's done something to support her, because she wouldn't be there without his support, right? I know every time that I do catch Jake's ministry, his wife is right there with him. And there's video, I think, of your favorite person, Jamal Bryant, who posted a video of right before this happened and how much he was talking about how supportive his wife was, and I'm missing her name right now. First Lady Bishop Jake's wife. You can look that up. I appreciate it. So,
I just had her name. I just had it up because I was looking at his daughter's name. Her name is.
So while you're looking that up, the point is that we got to let these folks do what they do.
Sarita. Sarita
That's
Jakes.
possible. That's possible.
Yeah, Sarita, wife of Bishop Jake. Yeah, mother of 5 loving children. It's Sarita. Her name is Sarita.
Sarita with a T, right?
Yes, Sarita.
Yeah, Sarita. Okay, I heard Serena. I was like, I don't remember being Serena.
No,
but no, she. I always come back to this thing and just look at how many people expect ministries to not operate like businesses. But that's a whole different conversation. Praying for TD Jakes, praying for his recovery, praying for the people who depend on him, because I cannot imagine whether it's a ministry of 100 people or a ministry of 100,000. You are watching the man that you revere so much for knowledge and for wisdom and for leadership and for teaching right in front of your eyes, having this happen to him. I cannot imagine how it felt in that church in that moment.
It's terrifying.
Right.
I know they were all reaching their hands towards him to pray, which is a beautiful thing. Me personally, the type of person I am, I would be on my phone dialing 911, even if I'm in the church, because it was a very scary moment when you see someone going through that. Even though you're not in that place to maybe call 911, I would be on the phone like, "Hey, I'm in this church. This is the address. I don't know."
Right. Well, I wasn't concerned about medical professionals being there. There's EMT people. There's doctors that are in the ministry. There are people. I'm pretty sure of those 20 people who ran up on that stage in that moment. Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew
there.
It's almost, and depending on your state, it is almost required when you have that many people in the building. For all that, you got police officers in the building who are certified people who understand. So I wasn't concerned about the medical attention he will receive. I knew it would come swiftly. He's got a whole staff there, but let's just hope that everything turns out well. All right, let's move on. The next thing we want to talk about, where we're going.
His other daughter's ex-husband is in jail. I completely forgot about that.
What is that?
TD Jake's other daughter's husband's in jail.
I don't care. I don't know nothing about it. I don't care. All right. So next up, let's real quick while you're digging for the next stories. Have you heard about supposedly that Jamie Foxx was poisoned by Diddy? Did you hear about that?
Is that?
Let me
no.
Let me play this clip real quick. And so,
oh my God,
supposedly it's coming out in his comedy special. This is something that Jamie Foxx will talk about.
Where is this going?
So Jamie Foxx shot his comedy special this week, and in the middle of his comedy special, he said, "I am the one who called the FBI on Diddy because he poisoned me. That's the reason I went to the hospital. That's the reason why he almost died, is because Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx brought down Diddy."
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm waiting to hear when this comedy special is coming out. But
really quick, do you know who that guy is? The bald guy.
This bald guy?
Yeah.
Am I spreading conspiracy theories? Is that what I'm doing?
You're not, because of who that bald guy is. You would be spreading conspiracy theories, and that bald guy right there was some rando guy with no connections who's just sitting at home in his basement. That rando bald guy right there is actually a famous comedian and a famous actor who has a lot of connections. So if he's saying that, knowing the risk that it could be for his career, he must be telling the truth. And I hate to say it.
Supposedly it's in a comedy special that's going to be released to Jamie Foxx. So we'll hear it straight from Jamie Foxx.
But why? Like, I believe Jamie Foxx is saying this out of nowhere? No, I believe he's telling the truth. But why would Diddy? Why?
Who knows? I'm saying we don't. Jamie Foxx has been in the business as long as Diddy. So who knows? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Who knows what type of history that they may have? who knows what is the, you know, here's what we're learning more and more each day. Man, Diddy was a foul dude.
Absolutely.
There's just a lot that's coming out that's really mad. Like, man, this cat, man, geez, if all this
and
stuff,
the fact
half
that
of this
his
stuff is
children keep thinking that he's gonna get out on bail, I feel bad for them that they're making these trips from California to New York to hear these bail hearings, and it makes me want to say, babies, your dad is not getting out on bail. He's just not.
You know, keep talking because I got some. There's another clip that I saw.
No problem. I mean, we just saw these poor, beautiful children, and Lila and I think it's Lila and Jesse, the Delilah and Jesse. Sorry, they're seniors now in high school. They're cheerleaders. They're doing all the cute things, and their brothers are doing their best to support them, and it's a wonderful thing. But they're flying back and forth to support their dad, which they should do. But I feel bad because I almost feel like it's like a futile experience. And I feel like it's getting their hopes up and then dropping them down, getting their hopes up and dropping them down when your father is doing things to not allow him to come home. He's still doing.
I want to play something for you real quick because you remember, you know, I know some folks here in Atlanta. So this young lady, Lisa Bonner, is an attorney. Entertainment attorney.
About something that was really shocking to me when I came to the conclusion this morning. I was on Pix 11 News yesterday talking about surprise Diddy, right? And the bail hearing. And this is absolutely the first time in his 3 bail hearings, this is his 3rd attempt at bail, when I said, you know what? They should let this man have bail. I really do. I'm going to tell you why. Because the main reason is I'm sick of him in court. And you are, I feel like, from a human perspective, I think he is a deplorable human being. But I am able to separate my legal mind from the horrific things that he has been charged with. So legally, I think he needs to have his behind in jail, like the rest of these people who cannot afford a $50 million bail package. And also, when you have RICO charges such as his sex trafficking, there is a presumption against bail. I am not sure whether or not he is going to get bail, but he does have a new judge. A new judge meaning a new judge for the case and also a relatively new judge. But the new judge was appointed by Biden. But I'm going to say this. The reason I think that he should get bail, because one, I'm sick of him being in court asking about bail. I understand. But he has zero impulse control. So aside from the 3 guards that they're going to have and the no phones and the this, that, and the third, I say let him out by Friday and he will be back in jail by Christmas. Listen, that way we don't have to hear about him anymore. What's done is done. So that's what I think the judge is going to.
So, and that's not just a random attorney. That is Lisa Bonner is one of the top entertainment attorneys in this city. She represents a lot of folks in the space, and so she knows. So, full disclosure, remember when I told you a story here about I was at an event and I started talking about Diddy, and I started talking about crossing state lines, and if that's the case, a lot of athletes. And remember I told that story, and to finish the story, people never who didn't see it. I was talking about if he's being charged for flying in women to have sex, then there's going to be a whole lot of people that's going to have some problems because that's just something that athletes are going to do. And you told me no, but she told me no. She told me that moment. She looked at me. She said, "Miguel, this is much deeper than that."
Yeah.
And because of who she is, and I know the work that she does, I immediately recant. I was like, "Okay, I hear you. I'm gonna wait." And this was when Cassie.
But you couldn't hear me. Who said the same thing?
Well, because you're not an entertainment attorney that runs in the circles of blah blah blah. But point being,
I'm a former sexy model, so that should count for something in this situation. Just throwing that out there.
Former sexy model, entertainment attorney who has them as clients. I'm gonna give her a little bit more. But anyway, but your point is, you're right. She's right. And in that and now, you know, because now she's doing the tour, she's been on CNN and all over the place talking about exactly what we talked about. And so there's that. But go ahead.
No, that's it. I don't think Diddy needs to be out because the manipulation that he's doing, they trying to do behind bars, like she said. If he gets out on Friday, he's gonna be back in before Christmas because it's constant trying to manipulate witnesses and pay off and convince and try to cajole all these people to be on his side, not because he didn't do anything wrong, but because he needs them. So he's paying off these people. And the Fed, we've always said about the federal government.
Yeah.
When the Feds get to you, they already have their case. Yeah. They're literally just lining up ducks and putting little post-it notes on this and putting numbers on this. So when they get to trial, they're not just like still researching. This isn't the state. This isn't your local county commissioner.
Right.
Not even ease into this. But with Trump didn't get his case dropped recently because they were like, oh, we don't have enough evidence. He got his case dropped because he's a sitting president. There has never been a case in the history of America where a sitting president has been.
You're jumping ahead because that just happened the last couple of hours. Go ahead and finish that thought because it's Smith has come out and said they're getting ready to drop his case against Trump.
Yes, they're dropping the case against Trump, not because he didn't do it, but because it sets a horrible, and I think we talked about this a year ago, it sets a horrible precedent for a president to be awaiting sentencing for a conviction because he was convicted. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was convicted of what.
But this isn't about the conviction case. This is a whole different case. The federal case is different, but the point is that he has too much power now. He's getting ready to put this guy, Smith, through some hell. When Kanye comes into place, the former AG from Florida, they're going to go after him. They're going to go after everybody who went after Trump. This is getting ready to be a shit show.
No, it is. Oh, no, it is. And Pam Bondi, again, as a Floridian, you were here when Pam Bondi was running stuff. She had already had a lot of issues in Florida, So she's not like some top cop that you want and some great smart person. She's had issues. Every person that Trump has appointed to his cabinet, they all have had issues. And let's go all the way into it. You know, intern Alexis already put this on the list. When you look at Trump cabinet's picks, we saw Matt Gaetz resign last week. You know, as soon as me and Miguel got off the air, I think he resigned the following morning.
Yeah, this is old. It still happens to be in my scenes, but yeah. So we can know it, and so Matt Gaetz is
Matt
done.
Gaetz has resigned. He's no longer putting up because he's quote unquote a distraction, which he's not. Apparently, Elon Musk thought the DOGE that he's head up was a joke that he was just playing around with, and he's surprised it's even a real thing coming to fruition. Pete Hegseth, Fox News has come out and let people know that, hey, yeah, so he had a couple of these lawsuits he settled privately. It's not that big a deal. No, it is a big deal. So the only people who are coming out unscathed so far. Oh, wait, and then where is she at? She's not on here. The McMahons. The McMahons have had child sex abuse allegations up against them for somebody they hired, not them directly. So they're under scrutiny. So far, the only people coming out unscathed are Marco Rubio. Not Christian Nolan because she killed that dog. Doug Burnham, Elise Stefanik, Susie Wells, Tulsi Gabbard, and John Ratcliffe. That's a couple of people out of multiple people who have been assigned to positions. Perfect. Yes, resigned.
You like I even put that together.
Soon to resign. I love it. I really.
You know, this is nonsense, man. But you know, this is where we are, and this is where it's going to be, and we just got to deal with it. We just got to rock with it. We got to figure this thing out.
But figuring it out is really hard to do when you're seeing who he's picking. He is not. Everybody loves using this term, drain the swamp, drain the swamp, drain the swamp. But they keep changing what the definition of a swamp is. Originally, the swamp was rhinos, like old Republicans who need to move on, like me. I'm considered a rhino because I'm for the old Republican ways. Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. Now it seems to be anyone who doesn't fall in line with Trump, no matter if they're new or whatever. They're a rhino. They're a swamp. So
yeah, I think they need to stop. I think they need to stop calling your party the Republican Party. It is the MAGA party.
It is.
It's the MAGA party.
Is that your dog in the background?
Huh? Do you hear my dog?
Is that your dog?
Yeah. And my family's just like, oh, who cares, Dad? It's on the air.
That's why you should have got a real dog instead of that tiny little purse dog that you guys bought. That's another conversation. Anyway.
But go ahead. So it's the MAGA party now. It is what it is. You know, Republicans like yourself and others. I don't know where your seat is on this team now. I guess you guys will figure it out. Because it's crazy what is going on. But this is what we have to deal with. This is our reality. We got to keep it moving. All right. So, Jesus.
Well, let's stay with politics. Let me explain to you the whole Sarah McBride, Nancy Mace situation. So, Republican Nancy Mace, as recently as last year, called herself pro-transgender rights and said she supported children exploring gender identities and different hairstyles, clothing, blah, 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 blah. Well, last week, the South Carolina Republican introduced a resolution to amend the rules of the U.S. House of Representatives to ban transgender women from using women's restrooms at the Capitol, and filed broader legislation that would apply to every federal building federally funded by schools. This normally wouldn't be a big deal, except for there's a transgender woman named Sarah McBride, who was elected to Congress, who needs to use the potty. So they are actually going out of their way to post TikTok videos, Instagram videos, basically saying, you know, biological over the women's restroom sign. So here is Sarah McBride's comment on what's going on.
Contrast with the grandstanding that we're seeing right now.
We started.
I would like my approach of respecting everyone to contrast with the disrespect that we are seeing right now. I'd like people to see my competence in governing contrast with their chaos.
Do you follow this rule? Do you adhere to it?
I have already said that I will not use multi-stall women's restrooms in the Capitol. But again, that is my choice here. I always knew that there would be an effort to politicize my use of a restroom. Yeah. And if anyone had thought to ask me about what I was planning on doing, I would have been happy to tell them. Yeah. But again, this is not an issue.
This is not an issue. This is not even how women use the restroom. Mm-hmm. I don't go into the restroom and start stripping down to my pants as soon as I open the door from the restaurant into the restroom or to the building to the restroom. I go into a stall, I close the door, I go potty. You know, honestly, the only reason why now I have the door wide open for the potty is because I got a twin boy and a twin girl. I got to make sure they're not like drinking out of the toilet when I put them in the restroom. Like, this is a ridiculous situation to be talking about and to be publicizing Nancy Mace. And you're making Republican women look so stupid and myopic and transphobic and LGBTQIA-phobic. And you were formerly someone who supported transgender rights.
You know, it's so unfortunate when we continue to look at these situations and say the practicalness of this is you're going to make less of a scene for her to go into a women's bathroom, close the stall, and mind her business. It's going to be a bigger scene for her to walk into a male's bathroom.
Absolutely.
Much bigger scene. And so she has no desire to make a scene. But the problem is, as we continue to talk about this issue, this is such a wedge issue, and it's such a very myopic size of our population.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so she, as you mentioned, she is the only transgendered person who is in Congress.
Absolutely.
And the Republicans are going to take advantage of that to say, hey, look at her, and make a big deal out of it when she's there to serve and she was duly elected by her community.
And she's going out of her way to say, I won't use the restroom. I told y'all this when I came in. So why is this even a conversation? When I told you guys before you made a big deal out of this, right. I wasn't going to use the restroom with everybody else. And there was actually an interesting protest, which I'm fully supportive. They're saying that transgender men should all go use the women's restroom. If it's all about our gender and we were born women and we should all use the restroom, let's have all these transgender men flow into all these in these bathrooms of the Capitol building. Personally, I think it's hilarious. It's what you wanted. Biological women to use a restroom. Great. Have all these transgender men, hairy, bearded up, tattooed up, using the restroom, and see how that works out for you.
As entertaining as that might be,
hilarious. Hilarious and perfect.
I hear you, but as entertaining as that might be to some, that will continue. This conversation has got to slow down. It's got to subside. For any progressive movement to be made, as long as this continues to be a continued conversation, it's not going to be something that's going to push us forward. But go ahead, Kia. Jump in.
I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, and I'm sorry for interrupting you because I'm telling you, this kills me because this is going to sound so racist. White women ruin everything. You ruin everything. You overstep. You think you're helping. You want to be aligned with white men. You want to help us as Black women, and you never do. You want to help minorities, and you never do. They overstep on everything. And again, I feel bad saying this on air, but that's what always ends up happening.
Well, I always want us to be careful about generalizing, because we can't generalize. It's just, there is no all white women. There is no all Black women. There is no all white women. Whatever. But I get your point. I get what you're saying, because there are conservative white women who we feel like they were voting against their own interest, but they voted with their men and their husbands and their dads and all of that. Then you have the liberal or progressive, air quotes, white women who feel like, okay, we got to make a big deal out of everything, because when it's all said and done, this is not hurting them as much as it's hurting people who don't look like them.
And that's the issue.
Right.
That's the issue.
There's a clip, and I'm going to see if I can find it and cue it up.
It hurts us. It hurts the girls. It hurts the girl. It hurts. It's always them wanting to wave their flag and be so proud. But at the end of the day, you're still a white woman who can go stand next to your father, husband, brother, whatever, and be fine.
Right.
It's us. And here's some examples. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Go ahead.
Black Lives Matter is a perfect example. It had a clear goal. Black lives need to be included when it comes to other lives and how they are treated in the workforce, police force, socially. Fine. White women get involved, it changes the whole meaning completely. DEI, we talked about this last week. DEI meant something specifically. We don't want to race in front of other races. We just want the starting line for a job. We're looking at only skills, only whatever. White women get involved, and it turns to a whole thing of, no, there has to be a Black person, a white woman, and like it has to be all these races. No, that's not what we originally stated. That's not what we said. That's not what we wanted. We just want our resumes to all be looked at equally. That's it.
There's so much real litigation and real legislation is the word I'm looking for that is going on right now. And I want to play a couple clips. One, this is something, for people who may not know, Teslin Figaro, who is a bad sister. She's out here in these streets. She's been out here for a good minute. But she does a lot of this. She'll post and grab conversation that's on media, and she'll post on her social. But check this clip out.
Particularly women felt uneasy with Trump, but voted for him anyway. 2024 exit polls showed that Vice President Harris had an overall 8-point advantage with women. In 2020, President Biden had a 15-point advantage. CNN's John.
So how did you get from, I can't take it, I'll vote for Biden, to I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, and I'm actually really been happy about it?
I think I've come to the conclusion that I don't love Donald Trump as a person, but I do think that he is right for the country right now, and that he is going to chart a different course than we're currently on.
Sarkon finds some of Trump's cabinet picks disappointing, but she frames it this way. She could not support Vice President Harris, so now she thinks she has to be patient with a president-elect whose calling card is unpredictable.
The Kristi Noem, the Matt Gaetz, not necessarily excited about it. Worried, I wouldn't say I'm worried. I voted for change, as did the majority of the people, and that's what we're going to get. So I don't think worrying about it every day is going to do me any good.
People like Chris Mudd.
I think it's important that we
listen to this guy.
Every illegal and ship them out. And we have to figure out a way to get them back to work.
Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear me pull it back for you?
Get them back to work?
Exactly. This clown said, we have to round them all up. And not even the next breath, in the same breath, but we got to hurry up and get them back here so you can get back to work.
That's slavery. To round them up and then get them back to work is slavery. When you think about that, isn't it?
So 2 things from that clip. Exactly what you talked about. This was a middle-class white woman who said she's not going to worry about it every day because you have nothing to worry about. This does not affect your life. This does not affect your way of life. It affects your dinner parties. It affects your coffee shop experiences. It affects the line at the daycare when you're dropping off and picking up your kids. It does not affect
affects
you.
how you see a woman like me who's been your friend, who you wave at preschool, who you wave at family events. Now you feel away. It affects that relationship.
Correct. It affects that relationship, which to you is really not that important. Secondly, for this guy to say what he said, because later in the clip, he owns a wind farm or something. He owns a business, and he's talking about, yes, let's deport them. But here is something that I heard in another clip, and it's actually concerning. I'm assuming you're familiar with the 13th Amendment, right?
I am.
Okay, so the 13th Amendment basically says that, slavery was outlawed except, and I'm paraphrasing, except in servitude. So people who are incarcerated can be made to do slave labor, okay?
Yeah.
And so if you go about grabbing these illegals, putting them in a detention camp, and you create the ability for them to do work in those detention camps by the 13th Amendment, that is a way for you to still get labor out of these people.
Yes, that's slavery. You can put the fancy 13th Amendment on it all you want to. It is slavery, especially in this scenario.
Well, it's not even fancy. In the 13th Amendment, it says slavery in servitude. So go ahead. So yes, it's slavery.
What I'm saying is,
you're right.
Is that there are certain people who are going to get rounded up who may not have a clear immigration status and maybe have their paperwork in play for their immigration status, maybe have a meeting with a lawyer. They're not here illegally, who have let the government know I am here. Because here's the thing about the whole illegal immigrants, you're here illegally conversation.
Mm-hmm.
People may have crossed the border illegally, meaning they didn't go through a gate. Maybe they got brought through by coyotes. Maybe they got brought through because they walked, ran, crossed from Cuba on a boat to Florida, whatever, fine. A lot of them, when they get here, they do contact an attorney or start their immigration process. Because it didn't come through a port of entry, because that's a key word, a port of entry, they're automatically considered illegal. Even if they contact a lawyer, even if they start their immigration status, they're automatically illegal. That's a lot of people. Everybody ain't got money for a flight. Right. Everybody didn't have money for a bus ticket. You know what they had money for? To tell your husband and your kids and your grandma, hey, put your back within your back. We're walking. We're walking across the border. We'll figure it out when we get there.
So here's the other thing I want us to keep an eye on. Because there's a couple of things that you weren't anticipating, but I just got to get them out today. So we might go about 5 minutes over. But watch how quickly all of the people coming across the border, put on buses and planes, dropped off in New York and Chicago stops. Okay?
It hasn't.
It's going to, because Biden is still in place. I mean, once Trump becomes...
No. Abbott just dropped a bus off today, and Mayor going to jail, whose name I can't think of, Mayor going to jail, was like, why did you drop these people off? Like, we already told you don't do this. We already told you.
Eric Adams can't stop them from doing it. Because there is no law that says transferring or transporting illegals across borders is illegal. So all they're doing, this has been, I'm sure, however way they've been getting away with this, whether it be they're not transporting the kids or they figured out a way that they've been doing this, and this is how they created chaos. This is how Trump is moving the needle in New York as far as voters. Because just imagine if you live in a city and then all of a sudden you got people being dropped off, and they didn't come across the border from Mexico or Venezuela or wherever they're coming from to be picked up and be dropped in New York. They didn't have any intentions. That wasn't their plan, right? No. And so this has all been a strategic move. And so then you have situations like what is going on here in Wisconsin. And in Wisconsin, I want y'all to listen to this exchange of what's going on in Wisconsin.
Had rights were white men, correct? With property. White men who own property, sorry.
What you are asking this court to do is to sign the death warrants of women and children and pregnant people in this state.
Fancy language. They're wrong, is what you're saying.
I'm not sure if you're ready to move forward and keep fighting yet, but I will tell you, some of these women on the Wisconsin Supreme Court sure as shit are. The court started hearing oral arguments yesterday in the 1849 abortion ban case, and let me tell you, they were ready to burn it down. Please watch this video of Justice Karofsky.
Under your interpretation of 94004, there would not be an exception for sexual assault or rape, correct?
I believe that is correct, unless it was necessary to save the life of the mother, or two doctors said it was.
There would not be an exception for incest, correct?
I believe that is correct.
There would not be an exception for the health of the mother, correct?
I believe that's correct.
There would not be an exception for a fetal abnormality, correct?
I think one of the elements for a violation of 94004 sub 1 is that it is a living unborn child, so I guess it would probably depend to the extent of the fetal abnormality.
Let me drill down a little bit with some specific. A 12-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted by her father and as a result became pregnant. Under your interpretation of 94004, she would be forced to carry her pregnancy to term, correct?
I would say under the policy choice the legislature made in 94004 that would be correct.
Okay, so in that case, a child would be forced to deliver a baby. Let me ask you another question. How about a woman who is a college freshman here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison? If she is sexually assaulted and is charged as a third-degree sexual assault, which under the statute, under 940-225 sub 3A, that would be intercourse without consent. Okay. If she became pregnant as a result of the sexual assault, it would be illegal for her to obtain an abortion, correct?
It would be illegal for a doctor to provide an abortion to her in the state of Wisconsin, correct?
And were she to obtain an abortion after quickening, whatever that means, the penalty under 94004 would be 15 years. It's a Class E felony, correct?
And we'll finish up this segment. Then
but it would not be. She would not be subject to that penalty.
I understand.
I'll tell you why I laughed in a second.
If her assaulter is charged under 940.225 sub 3 sub A, which is a third-degree sexual assault, he would be facing a 10-year maximum imprisonment because that would be a Class G felony. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what the particular penalty associated with that crime is.
You can take my word for it. In that case, the penalty for aborting after a sexual assault would be more severe than the penalty for the sexual assault. 65.
This is where we are. Go ahead, jump in.
I hate when you bring up tacos that get my blood boiling, but she made a statement, the quickening of a pregnancy, I don't know what that means. The word quickening is a British term that is from the 1500s when you can actually feel like you're pregnant. You may not be pregnant, but if you may feel the quickening of a pregnancy, meaning you feel your breast getting sore, you feel your nose spreading, you feel that's what the quickening of a pregnancy.
Okay.
Something like that that's not technically a medical term should not be in any legal documents anywhere ever. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, I'm not a lawyer, but yeah, it sounds right to me. And the judge in this case, you're talking about two, at least one lawyer. I don't know if the guy arguing was a lawyer as well, but the lawyer we know who's the judge. We know that she looked at it and agreed with you. Like, why is this even here? And
why is it even here? It's not a medical term. Quickening of her pregnancy. If you look back in literature, if you look back in, she felt the quickening of her pregnancy, meaning she possibly maybe felt weird. She felt weird. And she feels like, I should take a pregnancy test, or I should, whatever they did back in the time. I might be pregnant, so let's do whatever we did back then. That's what a quickening of a pregnancy is, and that should not be in modern times. And listen, me nor Miguel are all like, everybody deserves an abortion. We've never been like this in this show.
No.
But there are absolutely, positively instances where a girl or a woman should be allowed an abortion. Incest, rape. She'd be a lot of the thing to say, I don't want to carry my rapist baby. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Mm-hmm. Or me. I've had an abortion. Mm-hmm. Me and my husband's child died at 9 weeks inside of me. My body didn't pass it. My doctor was like, if you want to get pregnant again, we really need to pass this along because we want you to get pregnant again. And they gave me my misoprostol pills. I took them and I was able to get pregnant with the twins because that was the goal. It wasn't the goal to just kill a baby. It was, I need to stop this to start this.
Yeah. And it's always a day. It's always such a slippery slope. And the bottom line is people should be able to make decisions for themselves. We as Christians, we believe what we believe. But what I will never co-sign is saying someone should, as in your case, have to have your situation be what it is. When you're talking about incest, when you start talking about 12-year-olds being raped, when you talk about in that case that she positioned it, the man who committed the act would get less jail time than the doctor who performs the surgery.
That's insane.
And so while people are sitting home and saying, and people are pulling up clips of Trump and thinking this is a joke, and it ain't just Trump, it's all down ballot, right? But this is what the last 10 years have done to our community. And it's so easy for them to distract the conversation and want to transition it over to, transgendered, and they want to talk about so many things
we don't care
about that are not important to 99.9% of us and how we live and work and play every day. We want folks to live their lives in peace. Yes. But this has been such a nefarious, diabolical plan, which has worked. And so now you have people like this guy who's arguing before the Wisconsin Supreme Court, or whoever, I won't say Supreme Court, whatever that Wisconsin judge was. And she's basically looking at him and saying, dude, you have got to be kidding me.
And she had valid arguments. She definitely had valid arguments. And because, again, she's been a lawmaker. For you to be a judge, you've been a lawmaker for a very long time. And I think she did a really good job of hiding her disgust and disappointment this was even being brought to her. And I'm hoping that when these weird cases get brought to the Supreme Court, there's some kind of morality, scholarly law interpretation that is brought to the Supreme Court if these cases are brought to them. I mean, we should not see women who want to have children not allowed to have an abortion or medical care because of the law. These women who are having these issues are women who want to have children. And here's a side note while Miguel's fixing his camera. I'm hoping that Melania Trump, Donald Trump's wife, our new first lady, sticks it to Donald Trump and makes her goal to help women, whether they're wealthy or not wealthy or completely underprivileged, be able to have access to IVF. That would be the perfect message for her to be like, you guys are focusing on abortion, great. You know what I'm going to focus on? Women who want to have children. Because there's a lot of us. Before I had the twins, there are a lot of women who are in my age group who are in my situation or married or whatever, who doesn't have access to the expensiveness of an IVF treatment. Yeah. And it would be great to have a national spotlight shine on that. That would be great for Melania to do that. That's a F you to Donald Trump and his cronies who are just like, well, IVF is not of God. Oh, and we can eat right into talking about God. The Oklahoma, what was he, the governor? Superintendent of schools?
Oh, the guy, the superintendent of schools who wants to now bring in the Trump Bibles into, yeah.
That is so unconstitutional. I can't, again, Republican here. That is not constitutional. You cannot just decide to have church smashed in with schools.
Well,
smash it all together and have Muslim, Hindu, Jewish kids. You guys are all going to pray to Jesus. You're always going to pray to God because I just said so. What?
It was so interesting. I go back to my childhood and I remember when we used to, we're talking about the 1970s and 80s.
Sorry.
Whatever. And We used to always, as kids, not understand when there was one or two people in the room who did not stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. As far as that was the only thing that we understood. We don't know. People could have been other, but we assumed that they were Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, here's one young lady. I knew she was a Jehovah's Witness because we were friends, and I had a crush on her. And so
poor little Samay sitting back in the corner thinking, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I'm Hindu. Like,
no, right? But in Virginia and D.C., well, they could have been. I don't know. Point being, the one I knew was two in the class. One I knew her, and she was Jehovah's Witness. Point being is that now for these kids, it's all going to change. And, when you start talking about, he said, in Trump, Department of Education can be one person, the secretary, because when it's all said and done, they're sending this back to the state. And when it's all said and done, when you got states right now, I know the number is 30-something states are ran by Republican governors. And so they are the ones who determine it. This is all a state play. This is all going back to the original fight, which is we want the states to be to operate individually how the states want to operate. Folks better get this stuff under control. You better get this stuff under control.
Well, wait, can I play something for you?
Go ahead.
That is a semi-cute, gonna, So my mom is here with the kids, and she's watching the children and just being, a wonderful grandmother that she is.
Sure.
And, now I have to find it. I just had it earlier. The kids are saying the Pledge of Allegiance, which is a great, wonderful thing. They're saying the Pledge of Allegiance. But they're saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that rested down one nation under God. Oh, a butterfly! Oh, a butterfly!
Never mind. Sorry, that was the wrong video.
It doesn't matter. It's cute as hell, and I love every second of it.
No, the reason why I posted that is because I was worried about posting that video because I'm so happy that they're saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mm-hmm.
But does the Pledge of Allegiance end with Amen? Because my children have been saying it because they go to a Christian school and they say Amen at the end of it. And I'm worried about posting it because it just seems like indoctrination. Though I know that
absolutely indoctrination. There's no question.
Okay. You were supposed to comfort.
This country is about indoctrination. That's why when you start going to games and you see the Black National Anthem being sung and white folks and MAGA folks are losing their mind because we only got one Pledge of Allegiance and we got one national anthem and there is this non-tolerance of anything that is not white Anglo Saxon American. And if you don't assimilate, then there's something wrong with you. That's just America. All right. We got plenty of shows to talk about that. We can get into a homeboy for today.
Is that Drake is a punk and that Lil Wayne's a punk. So you lead this section. Go ahead.
So for people that I know, Drake is suing the record company. And for folks, I don't know why he even trying to look tough in this joint. So Drake slams Not Like Us success rappers whose following songs Explosive Summer. As many know, Kendrick Lamar, who ironically has dropped a new album in the last few days, basically ruined Drake's summer. And it just won't stop. It won't stop before the Super Bowl because we're going to hear the song again at the Super Bowl. And so Drake has initiated a lawsuit against Universal Music Group and Spotify, claiming that the two companies conspired to artificially enhance the popularity of Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us. In a court filing in Manhattan, Drake's Frozen Moments LLC accused UMG of orchestrating an illegal scheme that involved bots, payola, and other tactics to artificially boost the popularity of Lamar's song and anthem that targeted Drake in their ongoing feud. Here's the thing, Drake. Here's what he didn't manufacture. That bomb-ass beat. Here's what he didn't manufacture. Those lyrics by Kendrick Lamar. Here's what he didn't manufacture. The visual that was amazing. Here's what he didn't manufacture. You ain't come out with nothing that was a response that made people stop wanting to listen to that record. So is there some of that in there where
manufacture that white women? I live in Claremont, Florida, in Mineola, Florida. All my mom friends are stay-at-home moms, white women, ain't got a lick of BBL, nothing. And they all know this song.
Right.
So you're telling me payola and bots for women who listen to podcasts about cooking and murder podcasts? How did they, Drake, tell me how they heard the song based on payola.
They heard the song because the song was bomb. They heard the song because you were exposed for being the dude that you are. And so, hey, man, sue away. You know, we're the most litigious society in the
Drake,
world.
don't listen to Miguel. Don't sue away. We talked it with me. You know, let's go into some background of this. I mentioned to Miguel earlier before the show launched that I wish Drake had leaned into this a little bit, and then we wouldn't be where we were right now. And again, if we want to put it the marketing minute, because me and Miguel have been doing this for a long time, PR minute, as a PR manager for Drake, I would have told him, lean into it a little bit. Lean into it. Lean into the fact that Kendrick has his song. Hey, jump on a remix.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how pompous Drake is? Drake has been Drake has been the #1 rapper / R&B artist for the last 15 years. Him and Chris Brown for that millennial / what is the next one behind millennial?
My age group. It's my age group and younger. Yep.
Drake could not put out a bad record. You want to talk about manufacturing hits. Drake has had a lot of manufactured hits over the course of the last 15 years.
Drake is the original plant.
He is so for him to even dare to talk about this record company did something for somebody else is hilarious. And so when it's all said and done, bruh, come out with another record. Kendrick done dropped another album, and it's getting some love. Squabble Up and some others. Go ahead, jump in.
But was this supposed to make people not like it? It's playing at the Super Bowl, goddammit. The Super Bowl. And even before the Super Bowl, white people knew this song. There are people at Country Fest playing this. There are people at EDM Fest playing this. Right. And again, mom group, stay-at-home mom group in a small city. They not like us. This is how they did. They not like us.
So Drake, you playing yourself. All right, let's move on before we get out of here. I know you want to talk about Shabuzi as well. Can we talk about Shabuzi as well before we get up out of here? Because that's also a Hunway. Go ahead.
And Shabuzi had the best song on the CMA, the country music charts, I want to say for 16 weeks. He was a shoo-in for Song of the Year. I felt like he was a shoo-in for, I think it was just Song of the Year he was a shoo-in for. And he got nothing. And he was also disrespected by another country artist, and it was completely unwarranted. Shabuzi doesn't mess with nobody. He don't put out negative information about anybody. He had a song, Bar Song, which was an extremely popular song, and he got nothing. And it's very.
I don't know why y'all think this is a democratic process. It's not a democratic process. Country music community does not want this to be what represents the country music community.
Nobody thinks it's a democratic process.
So I'm not even.
What I'm saying.
Go ahead.
It's not a democratic process. What I'm saying is that when you have a song, if you guys weren't going to give him any recognition to CMAs, you shouldn't have let the song be top song for 16 weeks.
That's the problem. The market decided it was a top song. They were ready for that song to go away, and that song would not go away. It would not go away. And then, of course, the other part of the conversation is that Beyonce put out this country album. She won nothing. MAGA was not going to let that happen. I'm telling you guys, y'all. I'm telling you, take this. I'm about to put my mark in. You know what? Here's the marketing mastery tip of the day. It's all about to change. The people the imagery, all the interracial couples that's on commercials, all the beautiful black people and brown people that's going to be showcased on cereal boxes and all that stuff, these people about to change the game. Hear me when I tell you. Just today is whatever it is, 11/25/24. They about to change the game. And so it is what it is. All right, that's my marketing master tip. I ain't even got to prolong it. That's what's about to happen. All right, Kia, before we get up out of here, what you watching?
I am watching Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel, which is a book I have read every year since I was 15. I am 39 now. It is actually on HBO. I suggest you and Tracy watch it. this is going to sound so inappropriate. I'm so sorry. It is the perfect adult time show for a married couple. It is again, if you've never read the book, if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. It's a perfect married couple adult time show to watch. Passionate, beautifully done. It's produced by Salma Hayek. Again, they did a movie back in 1992 over the book, and now they're redoing this series, and it is on point.
Like Water for Chocolate is the name of it.
Like Water for Chocolate.
I'm cooked because I think Common has an album.
Como agua por chocolate. That is the name.
Yeah, I'll go back to Common because Common got a dope album called like Water from Chocolate. But go ahead.
That's where he based it off of, by the way. Did you know that?
Okay, that's knowledge. Yeah. Now I'm interested. What else you watching?
We finished The Diplomat, and I don't know if we told you, we finished The Diplomat on Netflix, and
okay.
Have you guys watched The Diplomat?
No, you know why? Because we were locked in on Cross.
Oh, that's next. We're like, that's next. Don't ruin it.
Cross is, you better hit me with la 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 la.
I know.
Cross is really dope. They definitely gave love to DC. I think they spent a little bit. This ain't ruining it because it's in every episode. They spent way too much time at Ben's Chili Bowl. Every conversation they had was in Ben's Chili Bowl. Your daddy from DC. You better tell me you know about Ben's Chili Bowl.
Here's the funny thing. I appreciate them making up for the Tyler Perry cross that they did, Detective Cross. I appreciate you making up for it because that one was not the best. So yeah,
he was in that, right? Was he Cross in that?
He was Cross in that. Tyler Perry was Cross in the original one.
So this was really good. Let me just tell you that it's not going to end the way you think it's going to end.
No, stop! I don't want no wig
it's
over here.
It's really good. It's binge worthy. You probably watch it in 2-3 nights. It's really good. It was very respectable for the Black culture. I love that part of it.
That's what I wanted. Because the first original Cross with Tyler Perry didn't do that. So I feel like this one with the new actor, whose name I know, I just can't think of it right now, will be very respectful.
I can't remember it.
Alden.
Alden. He was in several things, but the first
He's
time I really paid attention to him was Straight Outta Compton.
He's been in Black Adam. Is the last thing I remember him from was Black Adam. The other thing that me and Omar not watching but finished. Oh, it just slipped my mind. Go with your stuff, and I'll finish with ours.
Aldous Hodge is who is playing. Is who is playing Cross. Just a really, really well done. It was extremely well done series, and I'm looking forward to what else they're going to do with it. And then, so we're watching. We just finished that, and then the other thing that this guy Taylor Sheridan. He's got something on everybody in Hollywood.
Oh my God, let it go. It's the second week you've done this.
Bruh, because he's got another show coming out that's got Demi Moore and it's got some other major. He's got Billy Bob Thornton. But his shows.
I love Billy Bob Thornton.
Huh?
I really do. I love me some Billy Bob Thornton.
But here's the thing. You know, we're watching Yellowstone right now. That's why I bring it up. We're watching Yellowstone. These are the shows. We're watching Yellowstone and we're watching Lioness. These are the two shows that are out right now. Landman has Billy Bob Thornton. This had every one of his shows have major players, actors that are in them. But if you're not watching Yellowstone, if you're watching Yellowstone and you're not caught up by now, the fact that this whole season is about them killing the main character, Kevin Costner, was mind blowing to me. I'm like, whoa.
Let it go. So the Landman.
Let it go. I'll let you talk about your little show. I'm gonna finish with my talk about my little show. But it's a good show. It was very well done. He's got an endless budget and it's good. What else you got before we get about him? Whatever.
So Landman's coming out. Billy Bob Thornton, Ali Lauder, Mustafa Speaks, which Demi Moore.
Why do I know Mustafa Speaks? Who is that?
Mustafa Speaks starred in
Landman.
We know that. I think we've heard of the name, but we don't know the big, huge. He was an All-American. He's been in Chicago Med. Yeah. He's been in a couple of things that we recognize.
I didn't watch All-American. I know my family did, but I didn't watch that.
Yeah, so he's somebody that we would know. So there's a lot of good TV that is out right now. And then we're about to go into the TV slump, which I hate when we go into this whole, you guys don't watch TV during the holiday season. Yeah, we do, but you guys don't give us anything.
We're trying to be around our families, and we want to find something else to do. All right, so great show today. Appreciate you. We got a lot of work to do. We got to continue to stay focused, guys, without question. And know that this stuff is, enjoy it while it lasts. And even when this stuff starts hitting the fan, still enjoy it, because we got to keep it moving. Whatever happens in the next 4 years or next 40 years, we got kids that's got to live in this world.
We're here for you. Life Full Circle Radio is here for you. We're fine.
All right, check it out. We holler at y'all next week. Peace.